In the heart of Alberta, or known by city folk as Stetter, is a man with a dream that involves a lot of grit, long nights, and beaver felt, where the fur is soft, the steam is hot, and the hospitality is next to none, is where you can find the man named Jace, owner of JWT Hats.
JWT Hats is bringing back authentic Western hat making to its roots. With all of his years on the rodeo circuit and on the range, Jace is a steward of the Western way. He understands the needs and wants of any cowboy and the job his or her hat has to endure.
Using the finest materials, Jace can craft a hat to meet any cowboy or cowgirl's liking, including any shape, size, or color. Each hat is custom made to cater any person's noggin, big or small. And don't think you're too far away from his little shop. JWT Custom Hats will ship anywhere in North America. His hat can be found far and wide, including his Instagram and TikTok.
So come on down to Stetter or give Jace a ring at 403-740-3574. Remember, folks, if you look good, you feel good. All right, Mason, we're rolling.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another rendition of the Hicks from the Sticks podcast. Devin clicked record, so
we're recording. This
good.
is the first take.
This is the first take, folks.
First take.
That's right. No editing going on here.
This is pure, authentic.
We're here in the bunkhouse. We're here in Olds, Alberta. Beautiful Olds, Alberta. Actually, it's pretty nice out. Smokes decided that it
didn't want to be around anymore.
Didn't want to be around anymore, so it's actually been pretty nice out. So I can't complain too much about that. But yeah. That's right.
What you got for us today, Mason?
What I got for you, Dev, is I'm going to a bachelor party this weekend. When you guys listen to this, I will have already been there. What are the best things to do at a bachelor party?
Do you know what my question is?
I drink, obviously, but
okay. My question in regards to bachelor parties are, strippers.
Yeah.
Is that a yay or a nay thing at bachelor parties?
So I feel like it's one of those things where it's just traditionally known that you do it.
Okay.
But like, I feel like it's getting weaned out a little bit almost.
You think so?
I think so.
You think like just because like the fact like you're like committed, like no, that's a weird way of saying it. It's like
I think guys don't like doing it anymore because they know that their girl is gonna give them shit if they do it. Fair. Compared to back in the day where it was like we're gonna do whatever we're doing and you don't have any say in it.
True.
Nowadays the women wear the pants. So.
That is also true. So like Mason, what's your ideal bachelor party? If you're getting married in a month, what would you want to do?
I would want to go golfing.
Okay.
Want to do that. And then just like get drunk pretty much, but like do some like minor activities that would be fun. I think one thing that would be really fun, but granted, you would have to have a pretty small group, is like get drunk and maybe do like an escape room. That'd be pretty dope.
Ooh,
because me and my boys did that when we were in Edmonton one time, and that was a pretty good time. Also in that same weekend, we stayed at West Edmonton Mall for a weekend.
Okay.
Weird vacation spot, but like. And it's actually pretty dope. There's a lot of shit to do there. We were drunk the whole time, but we like went bowling. We did the escape room. There's like the theme park there.
Okay.
There's the water park there.
It's like an all-in-one destination.
Oh yeah, if you're there for a weekend, there's enough shit there to keep you busy for a weekend. But yeah, I think you got to go golfing. And like I was at this one bachelor party, and it was pretty dope because what we did is we just went to the lake. One of our buddies had a lot on the lake, the best man of the wedding. And we went there and we just did drinking games all day on the lake. Oh, right. We were split into teams and we did a giant beer Olympics.
Okay.
And we were on the boat for a little bit as well. And then we got a party limo that took us to the strip joint in Lethbridge.
Okay.
But and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I don't. What do you think you got to do? What does a guy got to do?
See, kind of depends, in my opinion. Depends if the guy wants to make it like a destination back, because nowadays a big thing is going somewhere. I find.
I think it depends who you are.
Like for
Is
me,
that a big thing? I'd say probably still most bachelor parties aren't going places. It's just the 1%.
yeah. Like if it was my ideal world, I'd go to Arizona.
Which part of Arizona?
I don't know where it's hot. It's all of Arizona.
So why Arizona specifically though? Why wouldn't
I
you
just
just
like
go to like?
I
Why
just
wouldn't you just go to like Mexico or something like that?
see. I just like Arizona.
Okay.
Just a fan. Just a fan of Arizona.
Yeah. All right.
Best place to do a bachelor party.
We got a lot to back up that claim here.
I don't
Holy
know.
shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're listening to if you're a dedicated listener to the podcast, you know that I just like Arizona.
Been there 2 times.
Been there 2 times. And I'm in love, baby. In love with the Arizona heat.
Yeah.
I just know. It's hot there, but it's not humid.
Yeah.
It's dry.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
Like so for me, being from Alberta and used to the dry weather, you just you know what I mean?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what's happening with this bachelor party, Mason? What's going on?
Well, wedding party is gonna go golfing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty stoked about that. We're gonna do 18 holes. And then we're gonna kick it out to we're gonna have to probably kill a little bit more time in the middle of the day. And then go to a restaurant and just, I don't know, see where the night takes us. We don't really have anything planned and anything too planned. And to be honest, that's probably the way it should be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you have like a really strict schedule,
Yeah.
it can kind of just, it can almost be a buzzkill sometimes, right? Just go with the flow, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to have just a bunch of dudes, just a bunch of guys being dudes, just drinking. And so who knows where the night will take you, right? So
true.
better off just keeping her open.
Let's keep her open itinerary.
Yeah, I'd say.
Fair enough.
I'd say. But I asked this question to some of my coworkers earlier today. We were in a meeting, and I said, if you're going on a bachelor party, are you supposed to bring a gift?
No.
So that was what my thought was.
Part of the bachelor party is the fact that the guy's getting married shouldn't have to pay for anything.
Okay, so
that's my philosophy.
You just pay for his drinks.
You pay for his drinks. You pay for his food.
Yeah.
Like you just make sure the guy's taken care of.
Yeah, that was my idea too.
I think that's more of a girl thing.
That was my idea too, but I do remember I went to that bachelor party when I was at the lake. I remember I brought him, 2 6 of apple whiskey because I remember him saying he was a big fan of the Crown Apple. But yeah, I kind of figured you weren't supposed to bring gifts. So I wasn't going to.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah, no.
We'll just pay for his beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
anyways, oh yeah. Yeah, it should be super fun. Yeah.
Tune in next week to hear the review.
Yeah.
Bachelor party.
Yeah. Give you the whole breakdown.
All right, Mason.
Yep.
Western word of the week.
All right.
Western
word of the week. All right.
What do you guys cooking today?
This week, the Western word of the week is riding the wagon. It's more of a phrase.
Well, is this the story now?
No
definition.
No. It's just a short one here.
All right,
just a short description.
I don't know. Just riding the wagon.
Riding the wagon.
Riding the good old chuck wagon.
But why would you say that phrase?
I don't know. Because you're riding in the wagon.
I mean, you are, but why are you riding in the wagon?
To go somewhere? I don't know. Fuck if I know.
Okay, so riding the wagon is laying off on account of sickness or accident. So pretty much you're banged up. I feel like a hangover could probably also fall.
So you're not up
category.
to anything. You're just lying there.
You just feel like shit, so you're not gonna ride on your horse.
Oh.
You're gonna stay in the wagon for this go around sort of deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was this week's Western word of the week.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're feeling banged up, if you're at a destination bachelor party with Devin, and if you're feeling banged up and you don't want to drive the next day, you just want to sit in the back seat. You're riding the wagon. Riding the wagon. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna keep the front banter a little short here because we're gonna hop right into an interview with Russell.
Yeah, super great interview with Russell.
So
yeah, we won't even tell you what he's all about.
We won't even tease it. Just go right into it.
We'll let you guys figure that out for yourself.
All right, we're going, Mason.
All right, we're rolling. Hello, folks. Welcome to another interview on the Hicks from the Sticks podcast. Today we have a very special guest coming to us straight from Stetter, Alberta. We got Russell Allison. Russell, how are you doing today?
Pretty fantastic, boys. Any better, I'd be.
Sorry?
Any better, I'd be you.
There you go, man. I mean, that's pretty strong words. I don't know about that, but
All right, we already know a bit about you, Russell, because we were chatting the other day over wings and Stetter, I think on the Monday.
Yeah, that was, we definitely got home a lot later than we thought we were going to that night, that's for sure. We went there.
You definitely had way more beer than you thought you would.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Well, we showed up and Jason was like, oh, Russell's coming. I'm like, oh, right on. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be sick. And then you show up and, yeah, the conversation was flowing. And next thing you know, I think Jace was hammered. And so the hat still turned out good, though.
I mean, is that them now you're wearing, boys?
Yeah. So it looks like he's somebody who can still be functional when he's a functional. He's a couple whiskeys deep or whatever. So that's good. But
well, I was just shutting my eyes, just getting to sleep, and it had to been like 10-1 or something. He phoned me. He says, "I'm just getting home now, Russ." I'm glad I didn't come to the shop with you.
Yeah, right. It's a good thing we didn't go to BP's for another beer and a brownie and ice cream. That's for sure. Well, shit, probably would have been like 3 a.m. by the time we got home. Shit, that would sucked. Yeah, work was already rough enough the next day. Yeah. We weren't even drunk.
Sorry there, Russell.
You boys must be a sucker for punishment because he said that you guys had him down there the other night too.
Well, we weren't. Oh, yeah, he came down here the other night. Yeah. That was his idea, though. Was it? But we were all for it. No, it was good. We recorded a little. It was just like bullshitting, pretty much. Like we didn't even.
Just bullshit.
We talked a little bit about his business, but it was just a little bullshit sesh, so it was pretty good. Yeah. No, it was pretty solid.
All right, Russell.
Yeah.
We know a bit about you, but no one else that's listening does. So why don't you explain yourself a little bit?
Oh, shoot. What do you want to know? My name's Russell. I just moved here about a year ago. I come from a little town in BC, hour and a half north of Kamloops called Clinton. Born and raised there. I came over here for an auctioneer job. I'm auctioneer and field rep at Stetter Auction Mart. Give them a plug here.
There you go.
And I announce rodeos.
There we go. Perfect.
Well, before we get into that, Stetter Auction Mart, you owe us $5. There's a starter. No free ads around here. Not between two Dutchmen, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Well, was there were you eager to just move to Alberta in general, or like was there not a lot of opportunity out there to work in an auctioneer mart?
Oh no, I've been doing this since about 2013. I was about ready to drop out of high school over winter break in grade 10, I guess it was. There had myself a cowboy job lined up and had the parents on board, which I didn't think would ever happen. But they said, "Oh well, you're not gonna do your schoolwork. Might as well go to work." So
yeah, right.
So I was gonna start at a ranch north of town there. After Christmas break, and they says, well, maybe you should just go back to school and give it a whirl again, one more try. Okay, sure enough. So I went back to school and they had something lined up. My uncle was running the stockyards in Kamloops at the time, and he said, well, we've got you a work experience lined up. He says, you get all your high school credit or get some high school credits out of it, and we'll teach you how to weld here and and I know you want to be an auctioneer, so we'll give you the go, but you got to stay in school.
Well, what the hell do you need a high school diploma for anyways, right?
I guess so.
You don't need that to work at an auction mart, do you?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, maybe that'll be
that'll change. That'll change.
Yeah.
All right. Before we while we were doing the research for this interview, I think Mason did this. Mason Googled what was the best things to do in Stetter. And not a whole lot came up.
Surprisingly enough.
I think you said nothing came up.
Not much. I'll say not much.
Not much.
Not a lot of tourist attractions, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No.
So, in your opinion, from your short stint that you've been there, what's the best things to do in Stetter?
Oh, shoot, boys. I don't spend a lot of time here, to tell you the honest truth.
I'm assuming it probably has something to do with getting into a little bit of mischief. Is there like a solid bar that you could go to there, or not so much?
Not so much. Jason and I had a little stint there where the old Billy Bobs. What did they call it at the end there? It wasn't Billy Bobs. What did they call it?
Long Riders.
Riders, yeah. A little stint where that tended to be the Friday night place to go. So that's about the extent of the mischief you can get into around here.
Well, did you guys have a buddy that lived in Red Deer, or did you have to have a DD every night?
Yeah. I wound up. I don't know how that worked, but I wound up drawing that short straw.
Did you draw the short straw, or did you volunteer for it? Because there's a difference.
Or did Jace beat you to getting drunk first?
Yeah. That's a part of it. That's part of it. Volunteer, voluntold, win the race, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Jace gives you a call, says, "Hey, we're going to Billy Bob's tonight." And by the way, I'm already drunk, so you're driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess now that the Silver Buckle's open, you guys can resume that tradition, just with a different bar, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been there yet?
No, not yet. No, I figure you should probably give it a month or so and let them work out all the kinks probably before you go there, right?
I would say even the summer.
Yeah.
Wait till school comes back.
So September?
September.
It could probably be good over the summer because I mean, there's not really much bars in Red Deer now, eh?
Yeah, but like
where do you even go?
Like
all those guys are gonna want to party, so I'm assuming it'd probably still be pretty good on a Saturday night.
Maybe. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah,
have to see one day.
Yeah.
So, did you go to college or post-secondary anywhere, or you go out of high school into the auction mart?
Well, yeah, like I say, boys, I don't know if I completely answered your question. My first story there, I might have got a little sidetracked. What did I do? I did my first year heavy duty mechanics in Kamloops. So that's what got me out of Clinton. I'd still been working in the stockyards in Kamloops all the way along part-time here and there when I could. And then moved to Kamloops when I was 17 or whatever and did that. And then my boss texted me. The stockyards had changed hands. It wasn't my uncle running it anymore. He was still there, but he wasn't running it. So the gal that was running it, I had worked with her, and she was hard up for some help, I guess, at the time. And so she texted me. She's like, "Hey, I know you're in school. When does it end? When does it end? As soon as it ends, you got a job right here." So I finished my heavy duty pre-app in I guess it wasn't my first year. It was just a pre-apprenticeship program. Finished that in Kamloops in August and went back to work at stockyards and was there ever since. I think I was there for another 6 or 7 years after that. So, and then some other management changed and I changed with it. Went working construction and then wound up here after I found the opportunity.
No, right on. So did you ever have to go to any like auctioneering course or anything like that?
I did. Yeah, I went to. I didn't have to, but it's recommended. I went to Western College of Auctioneering in Billings, Montana.
Oh shit! How long was that for?
10 days, boys. 10 days, and you can be an auctioneer.
Fucking right. That was probably a riot down there. Did you guys just get absolutely wasted every night?
Well, tried to here and there, but. Yeah, it's good to keep your mind about you when you're running numbers through like that. So
yeah, it's probably smart. Well, I guess it probably wasn't an issue to find somebody to boot for you. But were you 21 at the time when you were down there?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, yeah,
I wasn't. So,
but I mean, you probably looked like you were 21, so that probably wasn't a problem. I remember when we were in Montana, when we were driving down to Arizona, when we eventually found a place to board the horses and made it to the hotel. It was pretty late at night, but we wanted to get some beers. So we walked to this one gas station that was maybe a block away. And, we walk in there, we get some beer, we go to the counter, and I already had my ID ready. And he was like, "All right, that'll be like $20 or whatever." Like, fucking right.
I think he ID'd me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't ID me. So
there you go.
So what does auctioneer school look like?
What does it look like? They had it, I want to say it was called the Bighorn Mountain View Hotel, something like that in Billings. You're there for the full 10 days. You do, they give you your introduction and they get everybody to sell an item first off. When you're in there, you sell. It was a rake that you sold. They says every student that's ever come through this door has sold this rake since 1953 or whenever the school was started up and all. So you sell the rake just kind of so they get a grasp of what you know, and then as soon as you're done that, they say, okay, forget everything that you just did. They strip you right back down to nothing. They say the most crucial point is knowing your numbers. And I mean, everyone says, oh, I know my numbers. So they get you to count. It's just, they don't give you any pizzazz on it. It's just get a rhythm, get your numbers, start 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, 7, 10, 10, 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 17 and a half, and $20, 22 and a half, and 25. Something like that.
What do most people who go to that, do they have already like a bit of a background in like having a chant, or are there people who come there who have zero experience whatsoever and they're starting pretty much from scratch?
Some did. Some came in with some knowledge of it, had family in the business and all that, so they had learned what they could from them. Others had not the foggiest. Like, there was only 3 Canadians down there. There was myself. I was I was still living in Clinton at the time, and then there was 2 other boys from Alberta and Saskatchewan. They were both at Lloyd. One was on the Sask side and the other on the Alberta side.
Yeah.
They just kind of holiday out of it. They went down, they drove to Denver, took in the Denver Stock Show, flew to Fort Worth, and then flew back to Denver and drove up and went to auctioneer school. And they had worked in the auction mart and all that, but they hadn't the foggiest about how to be an auctioneer.
Well, and is that like the closest place you could go to like take a program? Is there nowhere available in Canada?
Well, that was my question. Is there no school in Canada?
Because we had Jenna was on here. She said there was a school that they have in like
Manitoba, I think. Yeah. But then she was like one of 2 people in the whole class. So like,
yeah. I wonder, in Manitoba, how long ago did she go there?
She said she went back in January or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty year, last year or something like that.
I think it was in the past year she went. But she said it was only for like 4 days or something like that.
I think she said it was a week.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't quote me on this, boys, but the 2 the 2 auctioneers that I worked with in BC, they had another brother. Well, there was 3 brothers that were all auctioneers. I worked under the one. The other one, funny enough, is an auctioneer here in Stetter. I'm working with him now. And then their 3rd brother, he had an auction school here in Alberta for a bit, sold it. He's gone to Manitoba, but he was still taking some people in under his wing, kind of showing them the ropes and all that. So that could have been what she did.
Okay, yeah.
She might have been apprenticed under this fella for a little bit. But there is a couple schools, like somebody told me that they took a program at Olds once upon a time, and I don't think they do that anymore now, though, at the college.
Yeah, I don't know when they would have done that. I don't think they've done it for a while, though.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
I went back in the John Mueller days.
You're here pretty quick. I guess I can take you with me. Hate to have my phone die during the...
Yeah, fair enough. Well, so you're saying Billings is kind of like where most people would go then for this for schooling?
Yeah, there's I'd say that's where 90% of Canadians go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming most are probably Western Canada based. Is there a lot of folks from like Ontario and shit that would go to that program as well?
Yep. Yeah, I'd imagine. Like I say, I don't know. I was just the reason I went there was a couple guys that I know back home there that told me before I had gone to school. They says, "Oh, well, you should go to this school and that," and just had it stuck in my mind. I don't know why I thought they said Western College. They actually told me Worldwide College of Auctioneering in Mason City, Iowa. That's where they said they went, and that's where they recommended I should go. But for whatever reason, I thought Western, so I typed in Western. Like the school, like the look of it. So I went there, and then I got back, and they're like, "How'd you like Worldwide? How'd you like?" Oh, I didn't go there.
So, what are you talking about? I went where you guys told me to go.
Yeah.
You're like, shit, I didn't see no corn in Montana.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you wish it was a little longer? Like,
Yeah,
you were
like-
only down there for 10 days. Do you wish it was like a couple months ordeal?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, I had a pretty good grasp on things already when I went, so that was part of it. And they cram a lot. If it was a little bit longer, I don't really totally know what they would have taught you. I mean, maybe you would have done some more practicum jobs on like being on the job and all that, but they did a pretty good job of fitting everything you kind of need to know into that 10 days. So it's more or less what they teach you. I mean, they teach you how to do your bid calling for sure too. You do an hour in a classroom and an hour over in the other room working on your bid calling and tongue twisters and that sort of stuff. But all the classroom work, it's kind of licensing and how to set up each different kind of sale you could come across. So you spend a day on antique sales and estate sales. You spend a day on cattle sales, vehicles, equipment, online, strictly online, that sort of stuff. So yeah, 10 days was about right for me. Yeah, surely there would have been some other people maybe that would have liked to stay a little bit longer, but I think that's kind of the industry standard. I don't honestly know of a school that takes you longer than 10 days.
Yeah, I just mean like and I guess if you're down there just for school and business, then you're there for that. But maybe it would have been nice to be there a little longer so you could take in some of the sights a little more, eh?
That would have been a little bit nicer for sure. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the old pocketbook was starting to run a little bit dry by the end of the 10 days, but
So 10 days was plenty.
yeah.
I guess my last question with the auctioneer schooling, and probably last question for it, is like, how many people actually went there to learn how to auction off cattle?
In my class, I think there probably would have been I think there were 17 of us in the class, and I'd say probably 2/3 were there to learn the livestock and the farm equipment end of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume that would be the majority.
Well,
right?
there's a lot of like estate sales and antique sales too, right? And
Yeah.
cars as well. So
That's right.
It's interesting to see where the mix is at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
when I went down there, I drove to Bellingham and flew from Bellingham. I want to say I had a connecting flight somewhere, but I can't remember. LA or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, flew from Bellingham and I met another guy who was wearing a cowboy hat on one of the planes I got on. And he looked at me, says, "You going to Billings for the auctioneer school?" I said, yeah, I surely am. So I wound up talking to this old fella. And he was, I don't know, he would have been in his 50s, I guess. He announces rodeos too. I still keep in touch with him. He's a neat old fella. His name was Bull. Well, his name was Bill, but he says, "Just call me Bull." So he told me the only reason he was going to auction school was because he announced rodeos and they used to get him to do just charity auctions and that sort of deal and all that because he was funny and knew how to handle a mic and talk to a crowd. So he said, well, maybe I'll go to school and I can put a little bit more finesse on this thing, you know? Yeah. So that was like he did, and there was a couple other guys that were the same way. They were retired and just thought, well, you know, auctioneer would kind of be a cool part-time gig for me, you know? So
well, would you say the majority of people are a little older fellas, or was there a lot of people around your age that were there as well?
I want to say I was the youngest at the time, and I think I was 17 or 18. There was another kid that was 17 or 18. Then the two boys from Alberta were in their early 20s. A couple guys from North and South Dakota that would have been in their 30s, just thinking it would have been their next career jump.
Nope.
Sorry, guys.
You still there?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
We can hear you. We just can't see you anymore.
We can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know where that went. Camera.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah. So there was probably 5 of us would have been under 30. 10 of us would have been, oh no, my math don't work out then. 5 of us under 30, another 5 or 6 between 30 and 60, and the rest 60 plus.
Okay, so pretty widespread then, eh?
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear though that people are still interested in auctioneering though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's a very niche profession.
Yes.
You don't hear a lot of, like, I was surprised with my egg management class, past podcast guest John Byer coming on.
Right.
I remember him back in school, and he's like, "I'm becoming an auctioneer," and I was like, "That's sick as fuck." Like, you don't hear about that. Like, you don't hear kids saying that they're gonna become an auctioneer one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
no, it's few and far between. You're right.
So I think it's sick. At least in that group of 17, there was 5 within that young demographic that were ready to, take over the older fellas, right? So
yeah,
awesome. So you're 17, you took the school, you're in Kamloops, and then you quit. Well, I don't know if you quit or what happened. You moved on from Kamloops, right?
Yeah. Well, the pretty neat part about my job was, 90% of the auction companies out there, they're owned by the same outfit, or for cattle marketing anyways. The outfit I was working for was BC Livestock, and they had a yard in Okanagan Falls, Kamloops, Williams Lake, and Vanderhoof. So my week would start in OK Falls if they had a sale. Tuesday was Kamloops. Wednesday, Thursday during the busy time was Williams Lake, and then we'd go to Vanderhoof for Friday, and then try and boogie all the way home Friday night, get back to Kamloops. So I got my fill of working different cattle auctions and all that out there. I really loved it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I don't even know if we've asked this question yet. Maybe you brought it up already, but like, what was the inspiration for you to get into it? Was it a family tie, or you went to a lot of bull sales and you're like, you know what, that looks awesome, I want to give that a shot?
So it's funny, boys. The only tie to the auction world for me was, well, my uncle was the manager in Kamloops there, but he was no auctioneer. He was furthest thing from the auctioneer. He just ran the yard. My grandpa was a cattle buyer. I used to go when I was little and sit beside him at the sales when I wasn't in school. But what was that triggered me the one day, we were at, when I was in 4-H, we were at our 4-H banquet. Like, this was the year-end wrap-up. Our steers sold the next day, but we had dinner and a little charity auction. And the guy that was doing the charity auction, he wasn't the greatest. And sitting next to a buddy of mine, and I would have been probably 13, 14, somewhere like that. Sitting next to a buddy of mine, and he says, "I bet you could do that pretty well." And I laughed at him. I said, "Oh, yeah, right." And so I just kind of fiddled around with it, and he looked at me and snapped his head. "Holy smokes, you can do that," he says. So, I just kept on going with it from there.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of funny because that's kind of similar to the story that like almost brought this podcast to be. Because I remember I was watching when my brother was still in college, and I was watching him play volleyball, because we used to play volleyball for the college here, and they were playing a game in Lethbridge, and in Lethbridge they have like a media class there, so they had some kids that were doing like a play-by-play commentary, and these guys didn't have a single fucking clue about what was going on in volleyball, right? So I was listening to it, and I was getting pissed off because I was like, man, these guys don't even know what they're talking about. Like, they're making no sense right now. So I was like, talking to Deb, and I was like, man, we should do that. We could do a way better job than they did. And then we tried to set that up. It didn't go through. And then we're like, you know what? Let's just do a podcast. Let's do a podcast.
Well, I will say you guys do a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So you do the BC gig, then you do a bit of construction. How'd you end up in Stetter? Like, what was the story behind that?
So my brother's on the old place that I grew up on. It was Grandpa's place at the time, and Grandpa sold out, and the outfit he was working for bought it, and so he's still there. He's now part owners, or however his deal works. I don't know how that is, but he's living in my granddad's old house. and they sold off the majority of the commercial cows at the time, sold half the ranch that they already had, kept Grandpa's place. And they kind of was wondering what to do with it and all that. So my brother went into purebred Charolais cows, and he come over here to Stetter, and that's where he sourced most of them, was out of a dispersal sale right here at the Stetter Auction Mart. And he knew I wasn't really happy working construction, wasn't my end game, you know. So he phoned me up. I was doing nothing. I was just sitting on the couch. So one day he's like, "Hey, send me a video of you selling something." Oh, okay, sounds good. So I had a couple clips saved from some previous sales I did, and he says, I think the owner here is going to give you a call. He says he needs another auctioneer. The one guy is trying to retire on him. So I phoned him up, and yeah, I just, like I say, I wasn't doing nothing. I've always kind of wondered about what Alberta living was all about, and this was the career I wanted to be in. So I thought, if nothing else, I'd come and do it for a little while and expand my horizons and put a few more things on my resume. And so far, I'm liking the heck out of Stetter here, and the job's going real well. I've got a good network growing here, and it's been real good.
No, right on. That's awesome. So how many years have you been there now then?
It was a year in March. The 1st of March was a year. So a year and 2 months working on now.
No, right on.
So maybe this is something that people don't know, but do you only do you only work auction days? Like how, like are your responsibilities? Because I'm assuming you don't just work the auction day, right? There's other stuff involved.
Be a little hard to make a living at that. Yeah. No, I'm here Monday to Friday, and Saturday, Sunday if need be too. But I do a little bit of everything. I'm a lot of PR work. Like, so our sales are Tuesday, Fridays in the fall when we're busy. And the rest of the time they've got me set up in a pretty nice white Chevy, and I'm going around sourcing, seeing what kind of cattle are in the area, and telling them what Stetter Auction Mart's all about, and just being that PR man, you know.
Being a salesman.
So you're so it's like a mix between sales and auctioneering type of thing.
You betcha. Gotcha. Field man, they call it. Field man, I think, is my actual title. Well, that is my actual title. Auctioneer, field man.
That's on the business card?
Yeah, somewhere here. I don't know where. My card's over there somewhere. But
yeah. Gotcha. And do you enjoy that side of the job, like the sales side of it? Like, is it just kind of just a part of the job? Like, what do you prefer more?
I love the selling. I love the selling. You can't beat the selling, but I love the PR side of it, the field side of it too, because I don't know. It's a little better now that I'm, like I say, now that I'm getting a network. The first probably 3 months was a little tough, cold call after cold call, and them just kind of wanting to get on with their day. But now that they've been in, seen me sell, and know what's going on, you know, guys are a little more open. I shouldn't say that they weren't all like if you're going to be a PR man or a salesman, whatever you call it in this industry, like, cattle people are by far some of the nicest people you'll ever deal with.
Oh yeah. No, it's probably pretty fun just swinging by, having a coffee, and just shooting the shit with the farmers. Right?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you got her nailed down, and you guys are kind of in the same sort of business too, right? Like, you know what it's all about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's the best part of the job.
I tell people, like, other than like in the busy season, like right now with planting or whatever, and like during the season, but like in the off season, I literally get paid to bullshit with farmers all day.
Right. That's it's great. That's the great part of it. Yep.
Yeah, that's literally my job for like 8. I would call it 7 months of the year. That's literally my job.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it can lead to some pretty crazy conversations as well. Like, I can tell you for a fact, there's been some times where I've met different folks. Half the time you're just like talking about girls and crazy shit that, you know, crazy party shit as well. So it's it can be super entertaining, that's for sure.
Sometimes I feel a little guilty. I'm getting paid for it.
Right? Yeah. It's like, damn, I'm living the dream right now.
No kidding.
Almost seems criminal.
Yeah.
So, aside from your job on the auctioneering side of things, So like I said before, we had John on, and he kind of explained the competitive auctioneering side of things. Have you done that yet?
I haven't. No. My first competition, I've always wanted to go, but it just never worked out. We always had between Kamloops and Williams Lake, we always had an equipment sale the weekend of the competition that I really wanted to go to, which is the LMAC competition. Runs in conjunction with their AGM and the Alberta Auction Marts Association AGM and all that. This year it's going to be an Olds. So I really wanted to go last year. Didn't work out. I think I had a wedding the same weekend. So I made a point as soon as they released their dates and location, I got on, and I was actually second one entered. So I'm stoked this year to be going to it.
You want to? I know you know a bit about the whole what's it called? Like the whole competitive auctioneering. Do you want to kind of explain it to all the folks how it kind of works?
Well, what kind of part do you want? Like
Because you're explaining how there's this competition, and then there's like the Canadian one, I think, or the Stampede one.
Yep. So this one, it's kind of more for the Canadians, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Someone might listen to this and say, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about." But as far as I know, this one's kind of strictly for the Canadians. Then the international competition is the one in Calgary. And I think there's a couple preliminary rounds you got to go through first before you get the chance to go to Calgary. And I'm pretty sure anybody can enter it from here or stateside. And then if you win the one at Calgary, you, like I say again, I might be wrong, but I think you get a paid entry fee into the LMA, which is stateside, which is their big association down there, and that's the world champion of auctioneering, you know.
That's
and
where
then
all the rates are at, eh?
Yeah, you betcha. Like Danny Skeels, he sells over in Remby and Pinoka and a whole bunch of other purebred sales and all that. And there might be a whole bunch I don't know about him yet too that I'm leaving out too. But he's the only Canadian to ever win. They call it the Triple Crown. He won the LMAC here. Then he went to Calgary, he won it, and he went stateside to the LMA and won it. So, and like I say, again, I'm not sure. I think he's the only Canadian to ever win it down there.
Okay, yeah. Well, and from like a judging side of things, like what specifically are they looking for? Like,
that's a good question.
Like, what are when you're trying to go there and you're trying to prep for it? Like how do they judge it even?
Well, and then a second question to that: how do you practice for
that? Oops, sorry, boys. I just. The dog's getting, I don't know what, dog's getting restless, I guess.
What's the dog's name?
Red.
Red.
Yeah. Red, come here. Nope.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a good boy right there.
He's a red collie, so real original, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But, sorry, your question was how do you practice?
Well, how do people judge them? And then how do you practice for that?
So you're judged on your rhythm, your clarity, your ability to gauge the market for that day, and your personality, like your approachability, if that's a word, you know, just how good you are at kind of interacting with the people. And so that's the selling side. And then they also interview you too. And the interview, it's a lot of things of what our industry is facing right now, like some of the issues and all that. They want to make sure that, because as a winner, you are representing kind of the LMAC and the industry for the year, right? Like you're going to different marts, and I think you're talking to different people and all that. So they just want to make sure that the guy running around doing all this knows what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure those are the categories they judge on, as far as I know. Like I say, this is my first competition. I've been trying to gather everything that I can know to be ready for it. So, and then as far as practicing, I just research, and try and get as much mic time as I can. And as I'm driving too, I'm always doing tongue twisters and number drills, selling telephone poles. You go down the highway, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's awesome. That's actually awesome. Well, and for those big competitions, like obviously there's a buckle on the line, right? But
You betcha.
for a lot of them too, is there an actual monetary reward as well, or is it all just kind of bragging rights at the end of the day?
You win the buckle. I think there's a cash reward in there. You get an entry fee paid to the international competition, and you get an EB stock trailer for a year.
Oh, you get a trailer? Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work for me though. I don't got a pickup to pull it, so.
Well, then I wonder with that too, if you gotta like put a damage deposit down, because like they'll take it back at the end of the year. So what if you just bring it back like absolutely trashed?
Yeah, if I get that sucker, I'm putting her to work.
Right? Yeah.
No, but
wrong not to.
Yeah, no, you got to put your time in though. I don't. Well, I'm going for rookie of the year this year. That's if I come up anywhere close to that, I'll be tickled.
Yeah, there you go. Man. That's awesome.
Well, good luck with that for sure. Eh?
Yeah, and if you get a buckle, man, that's gotta.
Oh, you froze up on me. How's she going?
I don't know what happened.
All right. Well, good thing there's something called editing.
Yeah, that's right.
And thank you. Actually, you know what? This will be part of the podcast here. I'll probably insert some little like weird music in between to show what happened. But I want to thank Russell here for a second for being the guinea pig, because we decided to flip platforms, or I guess ways of doing our podcast, and Russell's a guinea pig right now. So thank you again, Russell.
Hey, no worries. Does this mean I get paid extra?
Maybe.
You're getting paid?
We're not getting paid, so.
Wow, no. Don't say that.
Well,
don't say that.
We got Chase.
We got Chase. You literally said this the other night to his face. You're like,
I know. I forgot that he was sponsoring us for a second. Hey, man, we've been without a sponsor for so long that I was like, fuck, I didn't know we had one.
Speaking of sponsor, everyone go check out JWG Hats. Give Jason Rain his phone number is not in the description, but go check out his Instagram and Facebook.
It will be at the ad.
Or his TikTok, boys. He's got a heck of a TikTok.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go to his TikTok if you want to see something funny.
Yeah.
Or some good apps.
That's right.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were talking about the buckles there. I mean, like, if you're going on a date with a gal and you got that buckle on saying that you want a rodeo, the auctioneering event, is that almost like more prestigious than a rodeo?
I wonder about it, boys. I wonder about it. We'll find out.
We'll find out exactly.
I'll let you know.
All right, perfect.
All right, I'm going to shift gears here a little bit more serious.
Serious?
Yeah, serious. So you're talking about in the interview how they kind of ask you, what are some of the issues that are faced by, like, obviously cattle markets right now? So that includes the auctions, the ranchers, the support part, so like the retails. What, from your perspective as an auctioneer, are the issues right now within the cattle industry?
Oh, boys, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, that's a little political, Dad.
Hey, I'm prepping you right now for this interview. Think about it.
Hey, there we go. I like it. Well, she's been a dry couple of years ago here, boys. So that's a big part of it, right? Dealing with Mother Nature. They're starting to crunch down, with e-logs coming into trucks and all that, how far you can ship cattle. At one time, we're trying to outrun that at the moment, get around all that, because I haven't dug totally into it, but it sounds like they're starting to put squeeze on it. Yeah, a couple things like that. You should have prepped me here. I'm drawing a blank. I don't do good.
Yeah, they're not allowed to work the truckers as hard anymore, right?
Yeah, that's right. Like, and it's, I want to say it's, shoot, can't remember. I think it's CFIA that's putting on the restrictions right now. Even though different outfits have done the study of whether you are better on like fresh wean calves or any cattle for that matter, headed to Ontario, if you're better to offload them part way and give them the rest, or just get them there. And every study has come back, you're better just to get them there. Get the damage done and over with. So, but CFIA is still not listening. They're wanting to stop you. I want to say every 14 hours or whatever, and then truckers are going to tighten that up even more because like the highway laws and whatnot.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to hear about that stuff because obviously they're running bigger equipment and there's a lot more weight involved. But if you look at anybody who's really involved in the rodeo world or even just like the horse showing world, they're having to drive for, like 24 hours straight at some time, depending on where the next rodeo or show is. And there's no regulations on that, right? So
no,
is that really any different? Like sure the vehicle and the weight is a little different, but
still the guy driving a Volkswagen can get just as tired.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting how that's all coming down to be. But
we shouldn't talk about that too much. We'll draw attention, and next thing they will be hitting us because, like I tell you, partner, some of the hours I put in trying to get between auctions and rodeos and all that, it ain't healthy. But
yeah. Next thing you know, everybody's got to stop in at the weigh station.
Yeah, jeepers creepers.
Right, yeah.
That's a scary thought.
But it sounds like you might have to do a tad bit more research or thinking before the interview in a week or two, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Well, and I guess speaking of like just having to do research and stuff, when you were first getting into this industry, like how much practice were you having to do to get your chant to a level where it was good enough to like hold your own in a sense?
It took a while. I ain't gonna lie. She took a while, and I
did you have that natural ability, or did it take a lot of hours to get there?
She took some hours, and I did her backwards, boys. Like when I was telling you that when you go to auction school and they strip you down to nothing, they say get your numbers forwards and backwards first before you try and put any kind of pizzazz on it. I didn't do that. What was I? I want to say I was 14 or 15 at the time when I kind of started playing around with it, and I wanted to go from here to here, like that. So, and I could hold my own before I went to school. But yeah, I definitely recommend anybody that's getting into it, get a rhythm and get your numbers first before you start trying to. And I've been told that too by a couple different guys when I told them that I entered my first competition. He says there's a couple guys, they said you've got one job, get in there, sell the cattle. Ooh, what's going on here now? Sorry guys, notification. He said,
was it at least like was it a chick? Like tell us about it. Like was it important? Like do we need to leave the interview here for a couple seconds or no?
Oh, my notification?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I think it was my charger was trying to hook up to my computer.
Was it the classic everything. You up text?
Yeah. You busy? Question mark? My parents left.
I gotta go, boys.
Oh shit.
Oh damn. Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Where were we at again? Practicing your chant.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I say, I kind of did her backwards, but I mean, I want to say it took, oh goodness gracious, a good solid 5 years before I was comfortable selling without anybody kind of there helping me. So when I went to work in Kamloops, when I got my job there, I would sort during the sale, and then I'd go in the last 5 or 6 cows and I'd sell the last 5 or 6 cows. But I mean, I had the boys behind me spotting bids for me, and if I got lost, they'd tell me where I was at and all that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'd do without you here. I'd be fired in a heck of a hurry. And then as time went on, I got better and better, and I was able to sell more cows, and they'd let me go, half an hour at a time, hour at a time. And then pretty soon I looked around, whew, I'm on my own here, guys. And then the moment that it really set in was every auctioneer gets asked to do a couple of charity sales here and there, and so they started feeding me some of their charity sales that they were too busy for. They said, well, we've got this youngster, he'll get in there and get her done. He's green, but he'll try his heart out. And I love that part of it. Like, still to this day, I do a lot of the charity sales that that the two guys I worked under to begin with fed to me, right? So
yeah, well, I guess like bringing it back to school for a second there, when you go there and they got you to do your first sale, and then they said, all right, we're gonna break you down and start from scratch. Was that pretty difficult? Like, because I would imagine you don't not necessarily get stuck in your ways, but you probably have like a certain way of going about doing things. So then having to completely break that down and start something new, it's got to be a little difficult, no?
It was a little bit, honestly. Yeah, it was. But after I want to say about the first 3 days, I was in the groove of it and wasn't headed back to my old ways. And so they get you selling, and I was there for 10 days, and for 8 days of it, you are selling with no filler words. And they even get you to do a little charity sale. All the money goes to St. Jude's Hospital. And they bring in some of your family. Whoever wants to come actually is welcome to come to the sale. And you sell 3 items. You got to take 3 items with you to sell at the sale. And even that you sell with no filler words, no pizzazz on it or nothing. So it's it's not even that. It's 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, that sort of thing. And even what I had going into it, that made it a lot easier. Like, a lot of guys, not putting them down by any means, but a lot of guys were 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. And I mean, I did that a little bit too. Everybody does that, but so sorry, fellas.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Was she up?
Yeah, sounds like it. All right, so wait, I got a question here. So you got to pick the 3 items that you had to sell at the end.
We're going back to the auctioneer school.
Yeah, so what were you selling there then?
You're testing my memory now. I took picture frame. Shoot, I can't even remember, boys.
A dildo? I mean, you get to pick what you sell, right? You can just get anything.
I think it had to be PG if I remember right.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe a condom? That'd be okay, wouldn't
it? I think it was a picture frame, coffee mug, and something else. Like, they weren't supposed to be big items. And it was a little tricky for me on the plane too, right? I was kind of limited.
Wow. If you did bring a dildo, it'd be kind of awkward if they checked your bag and like.
Well, you probably wouldn't be bringing that home with you. You'd be throwing it into the trash afterwards.
Somebody bringing it down.
I don't think Russell the dildo.
I mean, like, you can't be judging nowadays. It's 2023.
I feel like it's a fair assumption to say that Russell does not need a dildo.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
All right. Let's go. Let's get back on to. So we were talking about the chant here. We were wondering if you could sell.
No. You don't have to sell anything. I got a question before that.
Oh.
We'll get to that eventually. But like, when we had our past guest on here, John, and we asked this question, but we want to get your opinion on it as well. When folks like Dev and I go to watch you guys, or we go to an auction or whatever, I'm going to be honest, half the time I have zero clue what you guys are saying, right? Is there like a certain trick to it, or is there like certain key things that the average Joe should listen for? Because if you aren't used to listening to it, it can be difficult, right?
I suppose so, but well, yeah, I guess so. But see, that's like getting back to the competition. That's a big thing you're judged on, right? Is your clarity. If you're buying stuff at an auction, you kind of need to know what you're paying.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember I had a buddy once who said you got to listen to it like it's a song, and then that would make it easier. But
Yep.
I haven't listened to enough auctioneers and broken down the film and realized that actually helps. But
So should we do a test?
yeah, let's do it.
All right, you gotta
sell Milo. Sell Milo.
Yeah, I gotta sell Milo.
Sell this damn
Milo.
cat. I want him out of my house.
Good cat, boys. Able to get firing on him, able to get starting 5,000, able to get 5,000.
Oh, I'm not spending 5,000 on this fucker. What are you talking about?
100 bid down $200 able to get 100 down 2 able to get down 3 $300 able to get 3. Devin's in the lead. We got a bid 3 now 4. He's having his own auction sale. $400. 5. Yep, 5. Do it again, Devin. 500 now 6. It's $600 able to get 600 here. 6 now 7. It's 7 on 7 $800. Now 8 able to get 750. I'll do it one time. 750. 750. 750. 700 bid $50 able to get 750. So 700.
Okay, that was pretty clear, I'll admit.
Yeah, that was good.
Really
that
good.
was pretty good.
I'll admit, I've listened to some other guys and it wasn't quite so clear. So that's actually really good.
But also, I guess another side question with the champ side of things. Do you almost like, because I'm assuming it's a bit of adrenaline rush when you're going, right? Like it's like a bit of a high.
Oh, for sure. You finish a good sale and it's you're on a pretty good high, you bet.
So do you always have to control yourself and dial yourself back a bit that you're not going too crazy, and then your chant becomes so fast and like unclear in a sense?
Yeah, probably. I'd probably do it not really knowing it, but yeah, I definitely that's a tough one, guys. Yeah, I guess there's times where you gotta reel her in for sure.
Well, it's like when you're out at the bar, sometimes like if you're taking the turn as like you gotta drive, right? You get excited, right? You're like, yeah, I'm gonna drink a few beers, but you're like, oh shit, I gotta drive. So you gotta dial it back.
Yeah.
Dial it back. You gotta have one beer, not 3.
Dial it back and only do beer, no shots.
We do not condone drinking and driving on this podcast, I swear. All right. You got any more auctioneer questions, or should we move on to the second part of this interview?
I think we're okay with the auctioneer. Yeah, let's move on here.
You got 2 parts to your life here. We realized on Monday. You got 2 parts.
You got 3 parts.
3 parts.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, Jace told us that you were pretty big into rodeo announcing as well. Is that still the case?
Getting there. Getting pretty big.
So, like in
where did that fit in this whole story? Where did that all start?
I've always kind of had it in the back of my marble, and yeah, I don't know when it started. I probably was about the same age. I would have been 16, 17. I got the chance to do the Little Britches rodeo at my hometown rodeo. My uncle was doing it, and he wasn't. Well, actually, reeler in even before that. I just got thinking about this. I used to, before I started roping, and my dad was roping, I'd go to practices with him, and I'd know everybody he was roping with, and I would ride my bike up and down the fence and announce team ropings from the outside. So I guess I've always kind of been fascinated with it, but when I really started getting into it, like I say, I got the chance to do the Little Britches rodeo in Clinton. And my uncle was doing it, and he wasn't putting anything into it. It was just, okay, here comes so-and-so, here comes so-and-so. Getting the job done. But so he had to go somewhere or whatever. So I did it the next day, and everybody, holy smokes, Russ, you better work on that a little bit, because that could be something like, you're doing all right so far. Carry along with it. So I did, and it was something I liked doing too. I always wanted to, and I think every announcer says this, but it's true. I got to losing more than I was winning, so I needed to figure out some way to still go to the rodeos and hang out with my friends. And this way I get a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, yeah, no, that makes complete sense. So, like, what events have you been able to do so far then?
So it's just kind of taken off for me here after COVID, and it's still, like I say, it hasn't. I tell everybody when they hire me, I don't actually know what I'm doing. I just started doing this, and people keep phoning me, so I guess I can't be doing too much wrong. But so during COVID, I did lots of high school. I was booked just about every weekend with high school rodeos and Little Britches, and there's not a lot of pressure to that. Just get in, call the names. You can put as much work into it as you want, or you can put as little work into it as you want. So I just looked at it as good practice. So I announced it like they were at the Calgary Stampede, and everybody loved it. So then after COVID, once things started opening up a little bit more, I started doing some big barrel racing jackpots in Kamloops. The guy there actually kind of gave me my start. He was just doing Thursday night jackpots. The guy he had doing it was charging him $500 a night, and for like an hour-long race, and he couldn't afford to pay him. So, and I knew the guy that was doing it too, that was charging him this, and he says, "Hey, listen, this guy's not paying, but I know you want to get your foot in the door. You could probably do it for a case of beer." So oh yeah, no, I'm all over that. So I would go and announce his Thursday night jackpots for a case of beer, and now he's grown and I've grown, and I still go back and do all his races, and he's had some big ones, and they're a lot of work, guys. Like some days they run 400 girls in a day, and
I've been to one of those jackpots.
That's a lot of barrel racers.
I've been to a few of those types of jackpots and charities and whatever.
Yep.
Those are very long days.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But he was good enough to give me my start and kind of get me to where I am now. So I told him I'd stick with for quite a while anyways. But then I got to do my hometown rodeo. It was BCRA rodeo last year. I've got it again this year. I think I did 3 BCRAs last year, a couple bigger open rodeos out there. Over here, I did some mounted shootings when I moved here. And then I've got Big Valley Rodeo this year. That's my first Alberta rodeo.
Oh, fucking A, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and so is the announcing. Is it something that you're looking to scale up and get kind of higher in the announcing world, or is it kind of more of just like a hobby for you at this point? Like, obviously you're getting paid for it, but
oh yeah. Yeah, no, most definitely, Mason. I actually almost enjoy the announcing a little bit more than I do the selling.
Okay. Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just you get in there, you get your groove. A little less pressure. I mean, on some of these smaller shows, for sure. Once you get up to a higher scale, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. But a little less pressure than selling cattle and equipment. When you've got the rancher there sitting across from you with a long face, if the world's awfully dry at the time, and yeah, so it's just kind of get in there and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah. Well, and in your mind, as you're scaling up here, then what's the Super Bowl for you in a sense?
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Geez, if I'm announcing pro shows in the next 10 years, I'd be tickled. I don't know. I don't really have a Super Bowl yet. It's
just get to that pro level, and that's it for you. That's where you want to be.
Yep. And then from there, if guys figure I'm good enough to do pro shows, the sky's the limit. Yeah, I'll answer the phone and go wherever it is.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's awesome. Well, when it comes to announcing, like, what's the hardest part about it? Because like, is there such a
names
thing
you don't know?
Sorry,
names you don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Because like, and is there such a thing as too much talking? Because my older brother, he's still really big into it, but he used to be really big into like cycling. And so he used to like watch the Tour de France and stuff like that, right? And he would watch some of the lower kind of events as well. And the one big thing you would notice is when you watch the Tour de France, the announcers that were doing
the Tour de France.
It's La Tour de France. It's French, Kevin. It's La Tour de France.
Do you look French?
No, I'm not French, but it's pronounced La Tour de France.
It's La Tour de France.
No, it's not. I can guarantee you that.
Would have fooled me, boys.
Yeah. But anyways, when you're watching that, it's like 8 hours when they're cycling, and there's people talking. The announcers, they're talking the entire time. And when you go to some of these, when you would watch some of the lower scale ones, the announcers, there would be like big awkward pauses and stuff like that, just because they're cycling for so long. So how do you fill that space, right? So is there such a thing as too much talking, or are you expected to be spouting something out pretty much the entire time?
Also,
go ahead.
To second that, sorry. Do you have creative freedom, or is there a script you gotta stick to?
I want to say probably once you get into them pro shows, there's a pretty good script you got to follow. And obviously you can put in a little bit of your own twist and all that here and there too. But they have a production meeting before every performance, and it runs like a well-oiled machine. They know what's happening when. About the only thing that's unpredicted is the actual rodeo part of it, getting down to what the contestants are going to do.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but as far as running the show of it, you know when this is going to happen, when the gal's going to, the extra added things here and there, when the clown's supposed to do his bit and this and that. So I missed your question, Mason. What? Oh, talking too much.
Is there such a thing? Yeah, sorry.
You literally explained for like 5 minutes. I was like, you know what? Screw that. That's fine.
Sorry, guys.
La Tour de France.
La Tour de France. So, like that cycling thing, I want to say that's a little bit different. That's kind of like a hockey game too. They're announcing, they're keeping the audience informed as it's going on, but a lot of it is commentating and analysts and all that talking on it too, like diving real deep, right, to kind of keep it up. And so yeah, on some of them lower shows, and like that's what they've done now with the Cowboy Channel. If you watch any of them rodeos on the Cowboy Channel, they've got 2, sometimes 3 announcers just to kind of keep it going and keep it for the audience, not only there, but the audience watching on TV too. Where when the Cowboy Channel first come out, they said they had the clown to kind of fill in them dry spots like most rodeos do. And I think the reason they changed it was they said the clown was actually doing too much. So now they've introduced more announcers, and that they still got lots of good clowns going too. But so it's a fine line you walk between talking too much and just, because if you talk too much, sure, sooner or later something's going to come out that's just absolute bullshit that doesn't need to be said, right? So
yeah, for sure. Well, I guess this would maybe be a little bit more prevalent when you're doing the pro rodeos, but when you're announcing, do you got to do a lot of research and figure out maybe some facts or something like that about all the top riders, and then when you're announcing, you can just spew out some random fact that this rider has, just to add a little extra element to the I don't know, the show?
Absolutely. You try and get their resume. I try to anyways, try and get everything that they've done in the last little bit, all their big accomplishments in the past. So, and you hear that at them big shows too, when Tallman gets on there, the boy from Winnemucca, he's a $7 million bull rider.
I love that. That's a TikTok sound now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so no, it helps for sure. I try and find anything you can on a guy, like, he's a truck driver by night and a bull rider by day, or can I keep and the crowd loves it too. The crowd loves to feel like they know who's riding.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you want to make that connection, right?
Like, you betcha.
Makes everything better, right?
And I can't remember who said it now. I'd love to be able to quote them, but I can't remember. Whoever it was that said it best. It turns the difference between spectators and fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's, you want to turn people into fans. So that's for sure what you got to do, right? Have you ever had a crowd pissed at you before about something you said?
Any tomatoes thrown?
No tomatoes. I don't. Jesus, this makes me sound high on myself, but I don't actually think so. The closest thing I can remember to somebody being a little Okay, no, there's a couple times. I guess you try to forget them. I did BC barrel racing finals the one year in Quesnel, and same thing with that. I just call names, crank music, and a little bit here and there, something. So there was a gal. It was the last day of the finals, last day for BCBRA, and gal in the junior. She comes around, she falls off the second barrel or gets bucked off or something like that, and I said, not how she wanted to end her season. I thought that was innocent enough, but a couple people kind of snapped their head around at me and, ooh, that's a little bit harsh for a junior, Russ. So
yeah, that seems a little. I don't think you were in the wrong there. That's for sure. I think.
yeah. And then Clinton Rodeo last year, I don't know. I guess I must have just blanked. I called one guy by his brother's name 2 or 3 times.
You probably knew the guy too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I had it right in front of me, but I mean, doing a rodeo like that, when I know the guys, everybody backing into the box, I just look at them and had the last name completely right, but had and I did it 2 or 3 times, and one of my timers tapped me. They're like, do you know something we don't? I'm like, nope. No. So I had to apologize to him, buy him a couple beers afterwards at the cabaret, but and then another gal that I knew pretty well too. I known her all my life, but I said her name the way I've heard every other announcer do it, and knowing it's wrong when I hear that other announcer do it. I don't know, it just stuck with me. Said it wrong. She come up to me later. She says, "You've known me how long?" And that's how you say my last name.
And you're just like, all right,
my bad.
Here's the 20.
Yeah.
My question is, okay, so you auctioneer 4 days a week, 5 days.
Well, it's kind of
sales. Then you're in the rodeo pen for the 2. What happens if you have a sore throat?
Tea and honey.
Yeah. Tea, honey, and a shit ton of halls, eh?
I don't like halls. Can't tolerate them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
What about Buckley's? Like, let's just talk from a person that uses their voice as a profession.
A professional talker.
Professional talker. What's the best way to get over a sore throat?
Tea and honey and fisherman friends.
There you go.
And just spoonfuls of raw honey too.
Raw honey, that's the go-to, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, you just take spoonfuls of it.
You betcha.
Perfect. There you go. So, do you have any announcing show or announcing kind of lined up for the summer?
Yeah, I'm booked. My calendar's right here. I think I've got 1 weekend in July and 1 weekend in August that I don't have anything.
Oh shit! So you're all packed up, eh?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So, and I guess, do you have any more questions about the about announcing?
Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. You know.
Do you have any more? Are you okay?
I got the "you up" text.
She's home alone.
Yeah, but she's 3 hours away, so it's like
I can let you go. I can let you go.
It's all right.
You said you could edit it and fix this and patch it all together.
Yeah, that's fair. But then you'd be stuck with Mason for like 8 hours. So.
All right. So I'm assuming you don't have any more questions about that. Leading into this kind of the next segment of this. So if you're that packed up, are you going to have any time to even rodeo this summer then?
I haven't rodeoed in quite a while, boys. I used to team rope a little bit outside of high school rodeo. Yeah, like I said, I was losing more than I was winning, so I kind of give that dream up and went to the odd jackpot team roping with my old man here and there. And I don't actually have any horses out here right now, so and I just I miss it big time, but it's pretty easy to, you got to pick a lane and stay with it, and so I've picked this lane, and that's just way we go.
So
Jake wanted me to rodeo with him, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Did you say Jace?
Yeah.
See, here's how I already depicted how it's gonna go down. All right, I'm gonna lay it down for you.
How's it gonna go down, Dev?
From what I know of Jace, what I know of you, right? also seen you guys at Billy's too, so I know exactly how this is gonna go. All right, ready? They're gonna show up. They're gonna do their business, right? As professionals, right? They're gonna show up, do their business, and then Jason get absolutely shit faced, and you're gonna have to take care of him and the horses.
You've just convinced me. You just convinced me to give up on that dream.
Well, is it something that you'd like to get back into?
Okay, on a serious note, yeah. Is this something you'd like to get back into?
Oh, definitely. Because, I mean, I love chasing up and down the rodeo trail as I am right now, announcing rodeos and all that. But there's something to it, actually chasing the rodeo road, trying to hit 3-4 different rodeos in a weekend. When I go to a rodeo, I'm there for the weekend, right? I'm stuck there, which I don't mind. I like it, but it's just it's not the same as them guys that are hitting her hard.
Yeah. Well, and I guess there's not enough days in the week almost now if you're with all the stuff you got going on. But do you plan on do you live in Stettler or do you live on a acreage or something outside of town?
I'm right in Stettler here now, boys. I give up a pretty sweet gig when I came here. When I was living Pritchard, I don't know if you know where that is. It's a Canco station on about 45 minutes east Kamloops just on the side of the highway, but it's littered with little farms and ranches all around there. I was renting a mobile home and 80 acres off a guy, and the guy I was renting off had I think he had 1,100 acres deeded land there altogether. So I got to run some yearlings with him and doctor his yearlings with him and all that. It was a pile of fun. And yeah, that day that my brother phoned me, I wanted to be an auctioneer more than anything, I guess. I give that all up and come out here just to have a 2-bedroom house and a yard in Stettler.
So is the dream to find a farm girl around here who's got some acres, and
you at least have a back.
And then that way you can bring your horses, and you can kind of get back into the ranching gig a little bit.
Wow. Or do you at least have a backyard?
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's a place in Stettler that doesn't have a backyard, Dev.
Well, I'm just saying, at least you have a backyard. You can throw a horse back there.
Wow.
I probably should. The length of my
land. I mean, at least I bet you Stettler at least has a bylaw on chickens. You can at least throw a couple chickens back there and make it feel like home, no?
Very true. Very true. Never been a chicken farmer, but
I'm hardly nowadays. You might want a couple chickens running around.
Man, don't get me started.
I'm hardly ever there, boys, so it don't matter much to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you almost got my Dutch ass out there.
Yeah.
Then them egg prices. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we're ready for our last question. Last question.
Most
important question. What is your favorite beer?
Oof. Oh, dearie me.
BC, you're probably you'd be exposed to different beers a little bit, wouldn't you?
And it's not like here where it's like you're a Bud Light guy. Well, sorry, the beer that shall not be named guy. The what other name?
Pilsner, Budweiser, Canadian.
I guess if I'm being a true BC boy, I better stick to my roots. Lucky Lager.
Oh, there you go. It's. I mean, yeah. With Lucky Lager, you never know what you're gonna get, right? Sometimes it can be great, sometimes it's shit, right? You're gambling. Right. If you're a gambling man, that's what it's all about.
Going back a couple steps, I used to be a huge whiskey guy. I still am. I miss my Ryan Gingers. I have just quit drinking whiskey. That was my go-to. I'd take that over any beer, but I just quit that because I always kind of knew it, but I was living in denial. And a really good auctioneer, pretty good friend of mine now, he says that's the first thing that will take your voice out.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there science to that? What's the reason?
Maybe there is. I don't know. But, well, you guys know the saying, whiskey voice. You got whiskey voice in the morning. That happened to me at Clinton Rodeo. I went to the cab afterwards, and I didn't meant to be back at the trailer, sleeping by 12:30, but shut her down at 1 o'clock. And I still had a pretty good head about me the next morning, got up to do slack. But every time I got excited, my voice would leave me. Like I could announce just like I was talking to you and me. But if I was like, whoa, your new fast time, my voice was gone. It just, see you later.
Yeah. So does that mean you only do beer? Like, can you still do rum and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
like tequila.
Never did like rum, boys.
Never liked rum, man.
Tequila.
No.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I hate tequila as well.
No, let's play a little game of we call it yay or nay. All right, we're gonna start naming off alcohol. Yay or nay. All right. So let's say tequila.
Yay times.
Yeah. Okay. Gin.
Yay.
What about good old seltzer?
I'd have to know what that is first, boys.
Like a White Claw, like one of these tall boys.
Oh.
A girly drink.
Oh, come on. It's not girly. I drink them. I swear on Nick.
There ain't no laws when you're on the claws.
That's right. All right, what about vodka?
All right, vodka.
Nay.
Nay.
Fireball.
Ooh.
If I'm skiing.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a winter drink for you.
It warms up the stomach. It's like whiskey.
That's right.
It warms up the stomach. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I got a little excited there. Last one. Jaeger.
Ooh.
Only if it's Jaeger bomb.
Yeah. That's
there we go. All right, that's a good way to end up the podcast right there. That's a good way to end up.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Russell. This has been really fun. Do you have any social media accounts or anything that you want to shout out,
or anything you're working with, or anything like that?
Shoot, I don't know. I got a Facebook and Instagram that I'm hardly on, and a TikTok I scroll in my spare time.
There you go. All right.
Pretty simple fella, boys. What's that?
So if you can find the guy, give him a follow, eh?
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Perfect.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for doing this, man. This has been awesome.
Hey, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me.
And that was our interview with Russell.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on, Russell. It was great chatting with you. And I guess we're gonna have to do a follow-up. If you are listen to the podcast, you know that we've done a few follow-ups. Well, I think we've done one or two with like Drew and stuff like that. Yeah.
Shout out Drew Gregory. This type of thing. And like maybe we gotta do a follow-up with him, see how his competition went.
Yeah, because he's gonna be
a little 10-minute segment.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, just next time we're in Stetter, and we go for wings to crush a couple beers, just pull the mics out.
Oh yeah, hands down. Yeah,
that's where the best conversation is, anyways.
By the way, again, shout out to Brothers Radio for letting us borrow their equipment. We still have the piece. If you want to get into podcasting, and actually, we have this live on TikTok. I think we're probably going to go live a little bit because we consistently do the banners on Wednesdays. So if you want to see us live, probably more so on Wednesdays. Don't know the times because it's whenever we're done wings. But if you're on, you can't really show this piece, but we have this little, it's called a Zoom.
Yeah, this is great podcasting.
Zoom PodTrack P4. It's good.
Yeah.
You not enjoying yourself right now, Mason?
I think that's just terrible podcasting, Dev.
Oh, well.
Why are you trying to create more competition for us?
Well, no, I'm just trying to say, like I'm helping out a brother.
We got to gatekeep this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. You want podcasting advice? Don't even bother asking.
Fuck off.
All right. So if everybody knows if you listen to the podcast, you know that me and Mason, we got a bit of we like something. We like the white pouches.
We like the pouches that have a little nicotine in
them. So we ordered a bunch from Sweden because that's where they originally come from.
Yeah. That's where they're the most popular.
We ordered a bunch from Sweden. And down in the States, we noticed that Zin, so the company Zin, had a coffee flavor.
Yeah.
Now, however, we weren't able to get the Zin coffee flavor, but we got the On coffee flavor.
Is that what it is? On?
On. So we're going to try it out. Yeah. All right.
Quick review time.
White pouches review time. If anybody's into that.
Yeah, sponsor us.
Well, Zin sponsor us. We wouldn't mind that. That'd be kind of sick.
Okay, so they're brown.
They're brown. They smell like coffee.
They do.
I wonder if these are just straight coffee.
I wonder if they have caffeine in them too. First impression, Dev.
First impression. I'm just tasting my spit.
Yeah, can't really taste anything so far.
I taste a little bit of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an espresso.
Oh, okay. One thing we haven't talked about yet. We were at the Tall Timber branding this past weekend.
Yes, as we're trying to figure out the taste of these things.
Yeah. Went very smooth, I thought.
Yes.
Weather was great.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like a good old Brandon.
Do you know what's also good?
Mm.
Shout out to Bar TT Cow Horse. Ian.
Yep.
Makes a fucking good brisket.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
That
He never fails with a good brisket.
That guy knows how to smoke meats, that's for
good
sure.
Good ribs, good brisket.
Yep.
What's like
that dinner was so good. I loaded up my plate. I wanted to go for seconds.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner. You load it up and then you're like, oh, I want seconds. Yeah. But then you're just like sitting there like
nope.
I can't have seconds.
You're like, nope. I wish I could. Starting to think about going and puking it all up so you can go for round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I know. But what'd you think of Brandon this year?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's always a good
What
time.
was your main role this year?
I was a wrestler.
You were one of the top wrestlers there too. There's a lot of newbies there this year. A lot of new people. Jody, shout out to Jody. She was teaching a lot of people how to wrestle this year, and some of the other cowboys there.
How did you like your job, Dad?
So I got a new job this year, folks.
Yeah.
I got a new job. I was cutting balls.
Yeah.
I was playing with balls.
I mean, you're pretty good at playing with balls.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it was a pretty good job for you.
Yeah, I guess I play with balls regularly. So I was able to figure it out pretty easily. It's a good. Do you know what I liked?
What?
We just had, there's a lot of wrestlers there, which was good. It was good.
I mean, I feel like most brandings, that's the one role a lot of people struggle in getting people to do. So that's a good thing that we had plenty of that.
We had a lot of wrestlers. We had a lot of ropers. I'm not roping, but we did have a lot of ropers and stuff. But we had not a lot of skill jobs. The guy that can brand.
So you're saying that roping isn't a skill job?
Okay, roping is a skill job. You know what I mean, though. On the ground skill job.
So do you consider giving the shots a skill job?
I mean, technically, yes, because you can't just stick it in there.
No, you got to go under the skin, but
it's under the skin.
That's pretty simple shit.
Yeah, but you got to be able to figure it out. And it's the same people giving shots last year that were this year. So,
I mean, we had the new girl from Switzerland.
Was she giving shots?
She was giving shots.
Oh boy!
So if she's able to do it, I don't think you could call it a skill job.
Oh, whatever. But anyways. So
shout out Laura.
Yeah, no. So I learned a new role. I was cutting balls, and I will tell you though, I was fucking gassed by the end.
Oh yeah,
you just go, just fucking calf after calf.
Well, there was only like 2 of you cutting nuts.
Me and the old man Kenny, we were all both cutting balls. He taught me how to cut balls, and yeah, I didn't actually mind it. You know what I mean? It keeps you busy.
How much ball juices did you get in your mouth from having to put the knife in?
The thing I'm worried about was, so what I did was, well, first of all, I shouldn't be doing this, but I didn't like sticking the knife on the ground or on the calf, or because I know if I stuck on the calf and I moved it, go on the ground. So I didn't really want to put my knife on the ground. So what I did is I stuck it in my mouth.
I've seen other guys do that though. So I mean, I think that's a pretty common practice.
The one thing I wish I did is I had a clean water bucket to wash my knife in more often. So that's my learning experience. Have clean water knife or like water and soap or something like that, disinfectant. But the problem is I always stuck my knife in my mouth, but always stuck the pointy end to the left. Then one time,
the blade,
the blade
the
pointy end, the blade to the left. But the one time I stuck it to the right, and then I poked myself, and that knife was fucking sharp.
Yeah,
that was one sharp knife. I poked myself, and like I saw the blood. And I was like, this is not calf's blood. This is definitely my blood. It's like bright red. I
should probably go get a tetanus shot.
Yeah, and so I've been watching it now the past couple of days. It hasn't turned black yet.
Or green,
or my veins aren't have black in them from infection or something like that. So I think we're good. But I was a little worried about that. It's not a big cut, but like there's a lot of like that. The thing's been in like 10 calves, like 20, 30 calves.
Yeah.
So no, I did enjoy it though.
Okay.
I think that might be the new rule.
I think what you need to do though, and I was even saying it to Ken because he was kind of struggling to bend down and stuff,
Yeah,
boy.
Stool.
Yeah, bring a stool around with you and actually sit down.
Actually, don't. You got someone carrying the ball bucket anyways around with you.
Yeah. But I mean, you could also carry the stool.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's not like you're just carrying a blade.
But it's nice
with
having
you.
like a little bit of like assisting.
Well, and they're carrying the bucket. You can carry the stool.
True. But yeah, no, I quite enjoyed that part actually, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, there you go. You got a job now.
I got a job now.
Now every time you go to a branding,
I'm cutting balls.
you're
Now I got to
cutting
get a
balls.
special knife too, I guess.
Oh,
You can't just use a regular knife. You have to get like a nice thinner
Oh,
blade.
it's got to be sharp as shit.
And sharp
too.
as shit.
Yeah.
But it took a little bit to figure out how to get the balls out, and sometimes the balls were stuck up in there, so you like squeeze them out because you can't just go digging for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's ball talk for y'all.
Yeah, there you go. That's Brandon talk. So
Brandon Bull Talk. Shout out to Tall Timber Calico. Link for their website is in the description for all their meat products. So go check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, how's the pouch tasting?
You know what? It does taste like coffee. I wish the taste though, the actual flavor was more pungent.
Yeah, it's not that strong.
It's like really, really subtle.
I can taste it a little bit, but it's not enough. But it's good.
It's good. Like it's like a good taste. Like if you get the taste, it's a good taste. Like it doesn't taste like crap.
Have you ever gotten those? There's those ones that are just like coffee grounds that are in it.
So I was looking for those the other day, but I couldn't find any.
I thought they sold them at gas stations.
Me too, but I guess the gas station I went to didn't have them up in Lacombe, Petrocan and Lacombe. You suck, I guess.
You're on the milk carton.
Yeah, or even like just a caffeine pouch.
Yeah,
that'd be nice too.
So I wonder if this would taste pretty similar to that.
Yeah,
I would imagine those would probably be a little stronger in flavor.
Yeah, probably a little bit easier to get.
Maybe
even if you had to bring them in.
But we might have to get these again.
Yeah, or maybe. But yes, tune in next week. We got a few different flavors from Sweden, so we'll try them out.
Yeah.
Out of scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of this one?
I mean, I'd have it again, so I'll give it like an 8.
I'll give it like a 7. Just because I wish there was it was more pungent flavor.
No, fair enough.
Tasting a lot of spit. Right now, my spit contains Carling garlic wings and rank or rum and cokes. So,
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's also pretty good. But yeah, no, I'd definitely have this in the morning. But
yeah, there you go.
You have any more podcasts and talk? Mason?
No. Thanks for tuning in.
We're both a little bit dead. I'm not gonna lie. It was a long. The tough part about the branding this year, it was on a Monday.
It was on a Monday, so we had to work the next day.
Yeah,
it was rough.
I'm still recovering from that. We didn't even go to get that crazy drunk.
I mean, I got kind of drunk. I was slamming the beer and OJ's.
And another thing was good was the smoke was tamed down.
It was.
Again, though,
and we
thoughts and prayers to anyone affected by the wildfires. Hope you're doing all right. But you know what I mean, though? It was nice, good weather.
Yep.
It didn't rain till we were done. Like literally when we finished,
it started raining. It started downpouring. Yeah, it was perfect timing. Perfect timing.
And shout out to God giving us some rain because we needed it. So
we need some more though.
We do need some more. You always need a little bit more rain until you get too much. At least around here, you didn't get too much. So
yeah. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Hicks from the Six podcast. Again, shout out to our presenting sponsor, JWT Hats. Go get a hat.
And our other supporters,
That's right.
Bar Double Diamond, use code Hicks10, and Tall Timber Calico.
That's right. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Thanks for listening.